1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Ownership of lands to the 10,000 farmers will be provided under the President's Urumaya program this month. Application will be reconvened from the Aswasam beneficiaries. Operation Yukthia, 1,209 suspects arrested island-wide. SLFP MP Shan Vijayalal joins the SJB. Train schedule of coastal line revised. And world news, Bangladesh election has turned into a one-woman show. The government has planned to provide ownership of 10,000 land deeds of government-owned lands under the Urumaya program of the government, which was presented as the budget proposal for this year. It will be provided before the end of this year. Steps have been taken by the government to grant full ownership of state lands to 10,000 applicants in January this year. Delivering the 2024 budget proposals, President Wickremesinghe unveiled the Urumaya program, wherein he noted that the land slot distributed among farmers under the license of the Land Development Ordinance of 1935 would be handed back to the farmers. Cabinet approval has been received to this program recently. Objective of this move is to solve the problems faced by the farmer community in the country. Although around 100 years have passed, ownership of these farmlands has not been handed back to the farmers who own them. The government is handing over the land to the farmers who lost their ownership of the traditional lands during the British colonial rule. We expect to commence this task in 2024 and complete it within another few years. 2 million families will get ownership of land and farmlands. State Minister Ranasinghe said that applications will be reconvened this month for the Aswasam beneficiary program. The decision has been taken under the advice of the President by paying attention to the persons who could not direct the application forms in a proper way. The first stage of the program is underway. He stated that the second stage will be implemented under the Providing Solutions Practical issue of the program. The President has given necessary guidelines to speed the program. The number of beneficiary families will be increased by 400,000 from this year. The government has decided to pay additional payments for the kidney patients, elderly persons and disabled persons in addition to the Aswasam beneficiary payments. The government has allocated more than 200 million rupees in this regard. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A total of 1,029 suspects have been arrested by security forces during a 24-hour operation across the island ending at 12:30 a.m. today, says the Ministry of Public Security. Accordingly, drugs seized during the operation include 440 grams of heroin, 200 grams of ice drugs, 15 kilograms of cannabis and 470 narcotic pills. 86 of the arrested suspects are to be further investigated under detention orders, while 40 arrested drug addicts have to be sent for rehabilitation. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party SLFP parliamentarian Shan Vijayalal de Silva decided to support the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, says the SJP national organizer Tissa Tanaka. Meanwhile, he has also been appointed as the SJP's chief organizer for the Ambalangoda electorate. Vijayalal received his party membership under the letter of appointment from SJP leader of the opposition, leader Sathis Premadasa, this morning. A senior member of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, he was elected as a member of parliament during the last general election, representing the Sri Lanka Pududani Peramana. Vijayalal is a three-time former chief minister of the Southern Province and a former governor of the Eastern Province. That was local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
Sri Lanka Railways has taken steps to revise the train schedule of the coastal area line with effect from today. Accordingly, the Ruhunukumari Express train plying from Mathura to Colombo Fort and Maradana has started its operation from Beliata railway station at 5:25 a.m. this morning. Express train Sagarika, which operates only on weekdays from Beliata to Colombo Fort and Maradana, will operate on Saturdays as well, as per the Department of Railways. Meanwhile, the destination of the train, which operates from Maradana railway station towards Payagala South at 8:35 p.m., has been extended up to Aruthgama from today. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
This is Watchlight.
Professor of Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, University of Peradeniya, Udaya Ranapanava said that the cause for the sudden death of middle-aged person can be unidentified due to high blood pressure fluctuation. He informed the people to test their high blood pressure level from the nearest hospital or from the family doctor. He also asked people to pay attention on maintaining their health. That came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Bangladesh election has turned into a one-woman show. Queen Margaret, Danish monarch, announces the abdication live on TV. Zelensky promises more Ukraine-made weapons in New Year's speech. Bangladesh is holding general elections on the 7th of January. The result already looks inevitable. With the main opposition parties boycotting the poll and many of their leaders jailed, ruling Awami League is all set to be re-elected for a fourth straight parliamentary term. The biggest of these opposition parties, the Bangladesh National Party, BNP, and its allies, say they have no faith in the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will hold a free and fair election. They called on her to step down and allow the polls to be held under a neutral interim government, a demand she rejected. So the candidates on the ballot will also be formed from the Awami League, its allies, or independents. Denmark's Queen Margaret has announced her surprise abdication in a New Year TV address. She will formally step down on 14th of January, which will be 52 years to the day since she became queen. I will leave the throne to my son, Crown Prince Frederick, she announced. 80-year-old is the world's only reigning queen and the longest-serving current monarch in Europe, taking the throne after the death of her father, King Frederick XI, in 1972. She revealed the decision was made after a period of reflection following surgery on her back in early 2023. President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced and promised a sharp increase in the amount of weapons Ukraine produces next year. In his New Year's message, Zelensky repeated his pledge that at least 1 million drones would be built. There was more fighting overnight into New Year's Day, with 5 people killed in attacks in Odessa in Ukraine's south and Russia's Donetsk region. Earlier, Vladimir Putin gave his New Year address praising his army, but without explicitly mentioning the war. Back to the headlines of the world news. Bangladesh election had turned into a one-woman show. Queen Margaret, Danish monarch, announces abdication live on TV. Zelensky promises more Ukraine-made weapons in the New Year speech. That was world news. On to development news. Badigam Tata will be renovated. The government has spent 3 million rupees for the project. Water supply will be provided to the 50 acres of paddy lands. That was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka Cricket has announced that Sri Lanka cricket team is scheduled to participate in 10 test matches and 21 one-day internationals and 21 T20 matches. 3 ODIs and 3 T20 against Zimbabwe at home will kick-start the Sri Lanka 2024 international cricket calendar. Afghanistan, India, New Zealand and West Indies cricket teams will arrive in Sri Lanka for the match tour this year. South Africa and New Zealand teams are also planned in match tour in Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka cricket team will participate at the T20 World Championship Cricket Tournament this year. That came to you in sports news.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in NSP, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka Export Development Board completed a comprehensive 6-week export coaching program aimed at assisting small and medium-sized enterprises with an export potential registered under EDB New Export Development Program to develop their export marketing plans as a first step in their journey towards becoming export ready. New export development program implemented by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board is aimed at developing export potential of SMEs to enter export markets. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in any SPE, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
On to economic news, a program will be implemented in the Hambantota district to enhance cultivation activities in the area. On this program, cinnamon and pepper will be cultivated in 74 acres of land for export. The program is being initiated by the Export Agricultural Development of the Hambantota District Office. That came to you in economic news.
Weather report.
Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the Uva and Southern Province and in the Ampara and the Batticaloa districts. So the spells of showers will occur in the North Central Province and in Trincomalee district. A few showers are likely in the Northern Province. Showers and thundershowers may occur at several places elsewhere of the island after 2 p.m. Heavy showers of 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the Western, Sabaragamuwa, Southern, Central and Uva provinces. Thunderstorm is about 30-35 kilometers an hour can be expected times in the northern, northwestern and Uva province and in the Hambantota district. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces during the morning. That was the weather report. And back to the headlines of the news. Ownership of land to the 10,000 farms will be provided under the President's Urumaya program this month. Applications will be convened from the ASFA beneficiaries. Operation Nuclear, 1,229 suspects arrested island-wide. SLFP MP Shan Vijayalal joins the SJB. Train schedule of Coastal Line revised. In world news, Bangladesh election that has turned into a one-woman show. With that, we end our news broadcast at Radio Sri Lanka until 2 p.m. Let's enjoy music with lunch.